really good runners, equally skilled. Any one of them could take today's game. And they'll be getting started in just a moment here with our Swiss flags, the current round 1 tournament that we're using right now.
Yeah, these are pretty standard flags, very similar to the ones that we used on the last tournament. However, we have the new features of the randomizer, which include the hidden palace and the hidden town.
So expect the players to be finding more items and fighting it out just a bit longer, and the race is off. Here we go! As you can see, all 4 players are using different sprite avatars here. We got an Error, Zelda, a Knight, and Link.
Yeah, and of course Error is using the Error sprite.
Well, Error just picked up a magic container, and is that Palace 2 for Zarnax? He going in there looking for some quick levels on the drippers?
That looks so.
What's this? Rose City up in the upper left there is looking for some hints right now. Get some ideas on where to go for the race.
So 100...
Ravenak lies with the trophy. Okay, so Palace 3 has the trophy inside, according to the hint. An Error picking up a hammer. That's pretty nice to pick up pretty early on the west. Just look at Zarmax farming these skeletons, getting the early levels quickly. Look at those XP drippers. Alright, we have Error finding his first boulder block cave. He's gonna pick up another item in here. What's he gonna find?
So yeah, very different approaches at the beginning of the game. Let's see who is gonna be favored.
Yeah, but all 4 players are, like, the first thing they're really looking for is the raft to gain access over to the east. It will be on the west somewhere, but there's plenty of other items they're gonna be looking for. We'll see what they find. There's a heart container and trophy cave for Error. And Zarnax, he keeps going. He's gonna farm up to 888 at this rate. Max level.
Maybe that's his personal challenge for today.
Well, how long do you think it would take to level up to 666 in this dungeon? Because if you place the 6 gems after that, you'd be max level at 888 by the time you hit Great Palace.
That is correct. That could save you some time, but I mean, spending 3 minutes doing so, I'm not sure if I will do it, but will you?
Well, if you're not very good at the game, like, those early levels, like, they might just help you, just run through the sea very briskly without stopping once you get them, but obviously it's a time commitment of, like, 15 minutes to do that, but once you got that, you're beefed up. Like, as you can see, the race has only been going for about 3 minutes and 10 seconds, and he's already 4-1-3 in there.
Yeah, that's unusual. I hope it favors him.
And we got a cross pickup for Rose City Saints in the P-Bag Cave. And it looks like we have Palace 2 and 4 on the west. We have not seen the 3rd palace. There's 3 palaces on the west.
Heart container cave for Error. Let's see what he finds there.
And the raft is in the heart container cave. Error will be pretty happy to pick that one up. Let's see, he's still got I don't think any of our players have found any of the towns which give spells yet, have they? Oh, look at that graphical glitch on Zarn. He may just have to save and reset his game there. I think it's happened a few times before to him. Look at that border block! Entrance to Death Mountain. Get the heart. Is he gonna look for the Hammer Cave? We'll see.
So Rosade is saying, picking up his hammer, while Thirlwolf in Pivot Cave. And Xarnax getting his magic container. And he's back to the start, so he just lost that farming. That is so unfortunate on him.
He couldn't save his game? Oh man. That sucks. I thought it was just a graphical glitch. I thought he still could have managed to save. Uh-oh.
He goes again.
Well, I don't think he's gonna farm up to the same levels as before, but we'll see. Do you know what if Xarnax is running on an emulator or what he's running on right now for his game?
I believe he's doing on console because the menu showed at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, so it might have something to do with the cartridge or something trying to load up the randomizer, but that's unfortunate.
Yeah, very unfortunate. So Thirlwolf just picked up his hammer, I believe, in Magic Container Cave, while Error is in Pivot Cave. Gonna pick a cross, I believe, is the item, while Rose City Saint will pick his raft in Hard Container Cave. So this game is giving you things early. Let's see what the troll is in the late game.
Funny thing is, we haven't seen the town of Raru or the Saria yet. They get 2 free towns and spells in those towns when they find them.
And a Spectacle Rock for Thirlwolf. It is a hard container.
Yeah, that's a nice rock when you have the hammer right at the entrance to Death Mountain. Now, Era's been searching for a while in here for the hammer cave, but he's assigned to pull out and continue on. It's probably too difficult to find at this moment until you have better things. Alright, first to the east is Era. Here at 7-minute mark.
Thirlwolf in Trophy Cave, that it was boulder blocked. He's gonna pick his heart. And Error going back to the start because it appears that this is kind of boot blocked.
Oh, it was a boot blocked entrance there? What about that cave that he was just
yeah, I'm curious because there were caves, so I don't know why he came back, but he did.
Maybe he's gonna go back and look for the towns, like he realizes probably in the other segmented side of the west. We may have to go through a cave on the west to get the other 2 towns, and then he'll head back over to the east. Like, he could have been just checking the raft dock to see if there was, like, an easy item or town right on the other side there.
So we're gonna see the final cave we were missing. It was at the south, it was boulder blocked, it was Medicine Cave.
Good thing for Era going back here. What is he gonna find inside? Honestly, anything at this point would be nice except for a little digger for him.
And Xarnax game overs at Helmet Head. He is having a very tough time this Civ.
If you can get to Helmet Head, he should go right back. He should be fine if he goes right back there. He lost lives fighting the skeletons. What was that item that Era just picked up? I didn't see it.
It was a flute.
Ooh, that's good to find. That's one of the necessary items required in order to beat the game. One of the dungeons added into the new version of the randomizer is the 3-eyed rock from the main game, which required the flute to access. look at that desert tile. It's rough. Watch out. Ooh, we found Raru. Rose City has found Raru. And Era has found P1. That's a nice dungeon to find on the way. You got the Reflect spell, Rose. It's a good... Well, it's better to get a bit later, but you still need that spell sooner or later.
Oh, Thirlwolf is heading to the cave where you find the flute.
And Rose City is going to pick up another spell in Saria here. Both towns were pretty close to each other, that's good for him. After this, I think they found everything they need to on the west, unless they go looking for the Hammer Cave.
That is correct.
Go east to find a random 500 bag. Thanks, Mr. Bot.
So, Xarnax entering Palace 1, I believe. No, that's Palace 4.
I've been seeing a lot of key drops. If the players have 2 or 3 keys, like, you should go into Palace 1. There's only 3 locked doors in that dungeon. You have no reason not to really go in there if you have at least, like, a key or 2 or 3.
So, spell in Sadia. Everybody's gonna pick it. And well, the palaces we've gotten on the west are Palace 2, Palace 1, and Palace 4. Still no way to beat palaces because we have a lack of keys.
Well, we've been seeing key drops. Like, if we get a menu open here from any of our players, you can kind of see how many keys they've been racking up from the enemies here. All you need is like 2 keys to get through Palace 1. They open their menu so quickly I can't see it.
So Horsehead waves with the glove. So that's a very good hint for Rose City Saint. He got it at the King's Tomb.
So glove is in P1.
That is correct.
I'm saying, P1, you gotta go there if you have any keys right now on you. Even if you don't have any keys, extra keys are on in the Swiss flags, and there are 5 small item drop small items in P1. So you're likely to get a bunch of keys unless you get really screwed by the game.
So this will be a pretty fast seed unless something truly happens, but the players at this moment, if they get everything in the west, the only thing that they will be missing is the Thunder spell.
And possibly the Fairy spell.
That is correct.
Maybe the boots too, we don't know yet, but we're gonna find out. Zarnax picking up another key there, we'll see if he decides to brave Palace 1.
So Rose City Saint decides against going into P1, but it is because he hasn't visited the cave that has
Aaron knows what's going on. He's diving straight in.
Mr. Jam versus Jam. What happens with the lag is that in this game you have enemies that consume more CPU than others, and as the enemies are randomized in this game, sometimes when you get a certain set of enemies you get some lag in this randomizer, but it's kind of part of the fun of playing this. So Aurora is gonna find the glove at this room at this moment, and Rose City Saint is gonna follow.
Ooh, look at that. He gets a key drop right before the door. Nice. But I'm pretty sure he already had one because he went in here. Can't see.
Yeah, we've seen key drops, but we haven't. It's impossible to track who got the keys.
Well, they open their menus so quickly, you can't even catch it. It's really hard.
So Roasted is saying, of course, going into Palace 1.
Oh no, don't do that! Oh, he was lucky he didn't fall back into the flames. See, if you enter that room with the fairy when a Moa spawns, if you do not stop your momentum when you jump into that fairy, you will get hit by the Moa every time.
Really? Wow. That hasn't happened.
He just knows how to snipe you on that fairy. Oh, that was all of Error's keys, actually. But he should be able to pick up some extra keys in the dungeon if this leads to one of the dead-end rooms. Now we got 3 players in Palace 1 now.
Yeah, that hint was helpful because, well, with Palace 1 right around the corner, everyone is gonna go find the item, so everyone will find the glove. So Thirlwolf is gonna be the second one to get the glove. If
Double
he has
key
keys.
for Rose. Did you see that? He just picked up 2 in a row. He's up to 4 now.
Yeah, this game is giving them a lot of keys, which is very helpful.
Yeah, the small items are set to always have keys in the Swiss mode to make it easier to get through the dungeons. So you don't have to worry about P-bags in any of these spots in the dungeon. You just get lots of keys.
But even with that, you can still get blocked if the enemies aren't dropping keys. There's a possibility of getting blocked out of Palace 1 even.
Yeah, I could just throw you 2 locked doors right away, and if you didn't have any extra keys, you're kind of boned. And, well, you're out.
So Xarnak's picking his blue.
Boys on Rose City Saint, they're beating him up! All the fire. Watch out! Oh! Takes a death. And Zarnax is now entering Palace 1. All 4 players in Palace 1 right now. The ultimate spoon is going on.
An unfortunate death on Thirlwolf's side. He's gonna have to go through that room to pick up the key again. He's gonna pay, of course, and Rosie the Saint, well, defeating Horsehead at the same time as Error.
Is Error going back for the 9 experience?
That is correct.
He gets it. Zarnax picking up his glove in the item. So Rose City Saint has to go back in because he didn't take the first left to get by the blue iron knuckle. Let's see how he finds his way past him. Iron knuckles are the blue iron knuckles are a tricky enemy to get by if you don't have the down stab, but spell always works on them.
Yeah, do you know what enemies spell doesn't work on?
There's like There's specific enemies that it doesn't work on, like boss enemies and a few enemies in Great Palace, but most enemies in the game can be, like almost every enemy in the game can be spelled. I think even the blue lizard foes can be spelled. Don't quote me on that though, I could be wrong. You can spell the scorpions, turn a
and even turn the meaty bots in Great Palace into small bots.
Yeah, you can turn the king bot into a small bot after he pops, but you have to think. I think you have to wait until he pops before you can cast it. Seems all of our players are making a beeline toward that raft location. Zarnax, he was able to catch up pretty quickly, even despite the fact that he had a system crash on him. As you can see, he's picked up a bunch of items. He's probably going to be heading over to the east pretty soon. That's what I'm saying. The levels that will carry you.
That is correct. And error 72 in a pivot cave in the east.
They run into Darunia, but neither of them have found the child, so they can't cash in for a spell just yet. Did you see what Air picked up in that item cave?
That was a magic key.
Oh, the magic key! Wow, they might not even need fairy then. They can get through locked doors with the magic key. They'll be pounding off dungeons. Yeah, the raptor was in the item cave, one of the item caves, so I think he's gonna head over there, to the east now.
Maybe what he's looking for is the towns, but I'm not sure if he picked up the spells.
Speaking of spells, we do have the shield spell for air in Old Kasuto. Not bad. But you probably want, I'm not sure.
Yeah, and Thirlwolf and Rose City Saint picking up their magic keys in the pivot cave.
Alright, let's see what this Maze Island has in store for Burrow Racers here. Looks like a very linear path without the boots.
Yeah, this is the kind of Maze Island where you wanna just go...
Look at Rose there. He's caught the blue lizard foes in there. He can't defend against the attack if you just walk down and crouch against him. Nice spot to catch them.
300 points.
And another heart container. So far, all four of our racers have been pretty much taking the same path. The seed has been rather linear so far, but we're going to see at which point our racers kind of diverge. But I think they're all going to head to Maze Island right now.
Yeah, Xarnax is still missing something. So, we don't know what he's missing.
What did Error just fall on there?
No, I didn't catch it.
Okay, Thirlwolf will probably run into it in a second.
It was the boots for Error.
He got the boots! What an amazing place to find the boots to skip all the, well, most of the encounters here. Hey, this seed's been pretty lucky so far with the drops and the items. Oh, Thorwolf is leaving! If he kept going just a bit further, he would have gotten the boots, but maybe he's like, it's too linear for me to go all the way and invest all this time in here. Oh. Okay, now Zarnax has the raft. Okay, so we must have incorrectly marked it before. Sorry about that. We got either Palace 3 or 6 for error. He's gonna go inside, check which one it is. He's already got the glove. He might take a stab if it's Palace 3 at it. Del Rebo can be a jerk without down stab. Oh.
And there he is.
I don't think Shield's gonna help him in this life, but next life he'll be fine. Actually, Rebenak is a little bit sick today.
I've seen Simple Dude pull up a low health, no down stab Revo flawless victory. So we'll see if that gets repeated in here. Very swaggy.
It's not that hard to do if you take your time, but usually in a race you're trying to go really fast, and going fast is what ends up getting you killed.
But he did it! Wow! I'm very impressed. I want to see you do it too.
Alright, Palace 3 cleared. Now, we know the trophy is in Palace 3, so is Air gonna look for the trophy in Palace 3?
Yes.
Meanwhile, where is Zarnax right now? What is this? Palace 2?
Yeah, he died to that boss moments earlier, so he's gonna go for round 2.
Round 2. Nice fight. He's down.
And Third will follow in suit. He's gonna face Helmet Head.
See, if you're gonna reset back to the west like Thorwolf did, why didn't you just run to the end of Maze Island just to see, but... Now he's gonna have to run all the way back there and go all the way through again. Okay, so Air is trying to jump up here. I like to just jump and stab the left wall there. It gives me the momentum to make it up there. Like that!
Yeah, I need to practice my pogo jumps on walls. I haven't figured out how they work.
Most of the items are just key items to get you through like different blocks and things. It doesn't really change the way you kind of like fight or move through the game. And some items help you progress through the overworld. For the most part, the only item that really has a gameplay kind of effect in battle is the cross, which allows you to see invisible enemies, or the candle, which reveals the dark caves.
So Palace 5 is in 3-Eye Rock. Rose City Saint chooses not to go for it, and Error finds the trophy, so he's gonna go back to the west and he got out of the palace. He's gonna look for the other item.
No, Error's found both items. He might just want to keep exploring the east before resetting back. Is that new Kasuto for Rose City? The lady requires 6 jars. And all of our runners only have 5. Where is the hidden 6th jar? Maybe it's in the spell item location.
So, fairy spell for Rose City Saint in New Kasuto.
Alright, Rose also, Fairy's a pretty good spell to have at any point in the game. Saves you from a lot of mistakes and game over potential from falling into lava, getting hit. You can use it to Fairy Feet skip encounters on the overworld. Like, Fairy has a lot of uses, and it sometimes is required to get through a dungeon, as it gives you the ability to fly. Thurwolf is taking out Karak, attempting to take out Karak here. He's all RNG. Except for that first hit. Why did they make Zelda 2 into an action RPG platformer? Well, at that period of time back in the 1980s, there wasn't a whole lot of games to know exactly, well, they didn't have a whole lot of... They didn't really know exactly what they wanted to do with Zelda, maybe, at the time. Make it more like Mario, I guess, than what they thought. With the action style here. Is that P5 for Zarnax? Yeah, looks like it. He's going quick for the dungeons, that's what he's making his use of his levels for. He wants that extra key because he did not pick up the master one yet.
Yeah, look at the lag.
The spell Kirito turns enemies into little bot enemy, the weakest enemy in the game. Also the most deadly enemy in the game. Oh, I think Rose was hoping to get to that water towel from this desert pass. We'll see if he can still get there. An error running across the long yellow brick road here, stretching across the continent.
That River Devil was pretty deaf. Because
you have to be facing him, yeah. He's pretty... You gotta be right in his face with the flute.
Rose City same finding the other P-back cave in the east.
They need the thunder... Well, they need the thunder spell in order to be able to clear the last boss of the game, but they should have everything else. I don't think they're going to need any other spells in order to beat it. But and each additional spell you get helps out.
And the P-back cave for...
That was the hint that we received from the bot. Find the P-bag in the east. They found it. I think Trails have been racing all day.
And more P-backs for Rose City Saint in the desert time.
P-bag pickup.
Did you check what error picked up in water tile?
It was a P-bag.
Okay.
Both picked up P-bags at the same time.
P-backs all the way. Yeah, Kirito, we're now in the Zelda Tour tournament, standard tournament, so you'll get to see a lot of races of this game these days.
If you check the randomizer channels, which are restreaming, such as like Speed Gaming, where we're on right now, like it's pretty much a television channel. It almost goes 24/7. There's matches of everything scheduled. You can just leave this on forever. You'll have the randomizers going. So give this channel a follow, along with the base Speed Gaming 1 channel. You do like watching randomizers. The green color palette, do you mean, I guess, Thurwolf's Palace 5 screen?
Neon Palace. Like Neon Puke Palace.
Yeah, the randomizer throws all the fun colors at you, and different emulators and ROMs can load the colors a bit differently, so sometimes you can get really gnarly colors.
Error very angry to get P-Bucks everywhere.
Like, I'm so surprised he has not cashed in for his Rudo spell yet, right? Like, he's looking for spells right now, mostly. He's looking for the missing town. We haven't seen a Naburu yet, have we, right?
I'm not sure.
How many runners are in this race right now? So we have 4 on the main screen.
So the other
Total
runners...
6 racers. Yeah, we have Billiam and Ryan running off screen. We couldn't fit them on the main camera here. We have no idea where they're at. Perhaps they'll just win the seed.
So Rose City Saint is the first one to go pick up his downstab technique. I'm not sure where he got the he has fairy spell from
Air 72 picked up the trophy in Palace 3 trails.
Go east to find the medicine, says the lady. So I believe medicine should be in Bonner Cave, right? In Bonner of the World, right?
So did Thurwolf fight find Guma and kill him? He was in that dungeon. I didn't see him fight the boss. I was just checking the other games while he was doing that.
I'm not sure he got fairy buck, but we
Oh, he got on the fairy buck. Who's ahead right now? Well, it's hard to tell who's ahead, but in order to beat the game, you must clear 6 dungeons, including the bosses, and then get through the Great Palace, the final boss. You can see the bosses that killed each player. When they filled up all those slots, they'll move on to the last dungeon. They have pretty much all of that other items they need to pretty much beat the game, depending on where Thunder is.
It's very hard to tell who is dead right now because, well, everyone has this James place that he has explored a bit more. I don't know if I will get so many items needed at the beginning of the game. I will be in Palace City mode. I will be the Palace as fine as they work. So I will do it more like the way Thurwolf is doing it. So Roy is saying in Palace 4, gonna find Carlton, not ever finds problem, wasn't it?
Oh man, I have no idea how long I've been chatting without people hearing me. Wow.
Yeah, about 10 minutes. No, I'm lying.
It's okay, they like the silence. They're having fun with it. But,
Oh, they missed you.
Thurwolf is gonna take on his 4th boss right now. After this, I think I'm gonna place Thurwolf or Air72 in the lead. They are pretty close to each other right now, in terms of progression. Watch out for that Goomba though, he swings hard. Alright, slow and steady, Thurwolf will take out his Goomba. Here. It's a 4th dungeon down for him. Error72 taking down his 4th dungeon. It's hard to tell which one of those 2 players is in the lead, but Rose City Saint, he's not far behind right now. Does Palette 6 have the same palette as Palette 5? I think somebody was saying how much they liked the green palettes, so the game decided to give them another.
Yeah, same color, different bricks.
The game does listen. Okay, so we know the medicine is on the east, and the players were blocked 6 magic jars from the first spell item in New Kasuto, so that could be the medicine in New Kasuto.
Yeah, I believe that's the only place we haven't seen.
And Air finally clearing his dungeon here.
Oh, sorry, I believe we haven't seen either the magic container lady's house.
That was the one I meant, for the 6 jars. So, Rose City Saint just picking up that magic container there, he will have access to, I believe, the medicine. I like Air here. He's pooling his magic levels up pretty high so we can cast, as long as you're not taking hits, like, you really don't need to raise your life level. So he's just focusing on the magic and the attack. But don't take hits is easier said than done. But he's got 7 health bars. And now he will finally pick up the down stab after a long wait. Zarnax, stop motion Zarnax going. Palace 6 is a pretty tricky dungeon. Rose City Saint wants to clear this one now. There's a lot of drops, a lot of falls. He's probably just looking for the boss. He probably doesn't even want the item in here. I don't think it's anything important unless it's the child, right?
Yeah, Sarnax in an item room of... He finds the child, yeah, of course, that's the item. As well, I haven't seen Error. I don't know what Error picked in Naburu, the spell that he picked, but we haven't seen the Thunder spell so far. So, yeah.
Yes, RCS beat Palace too. Wait, I think he did. Right?
Yeah, I think I saw him beat Helmet Head.
Alright, we've got 2 dungeons apiece for 3 runners there. Zarnax is closing in here on Guma, but I think he requires the fairy spell in order to get to him. If he doesn't have the fairy spell, he's going to be running all over P5. Oh, watch out for that fun room, Rose City Saint. You know what spell I like in this fun room? The spell instantly kills those guys or turns them into bots, and they won't really respawn as long as you run to the right as you cast it.
Yeah, or Fire Thunder, but that doesn't happen often.
Because when you try and jump on them to downstab, if you miss one of them, the other one will come back and hit you and knock you into the lava half the time. Jump is risky sometimes, but...
Yeah, I think the best spell for that room is Patience.
Okay, so Air 72 is in P4 right now. We might have... Okay, Okay, so we might have marked him early on error screen there by accident, so we thought he was a bit further ahead than he was, so he will be properly clearing this one for good. It's hard to follow all 4 players here right now. This Palace 6, though, for Rose, it is really going the distance.
Yeah, and I believe he's the first one exploring it, so I believe the other players will have a hard time too.
Like, in the item tracker, Arid also has the trophy, I believe, from Palace 3 he picked up, so that's supposed to be listed in there, though I don't think he's cashed it in Rudo yet. Did he go back to Rudo?
I don't think so. He went to Mido, but I don't think I have seen him go to Rudo. Yeah, he went. It was a fire spell.
Oh, I wonder what fire is linked to. The fire spell is linked to one other spell in the game to improve its usefulness. It can be any one of the other 7 it'll cast alongside and you'll get 2 spells. Treos, did you see what the fire was yet? This is another fun room that Zarnax is in. It is a painful room. Enemies all over the screen, hitting you, and you can easily fall into the lava if you break one of those bricks. All 8 heart containers for air. He is maxed out on health. Not what he wanted, though. I think he wanted either a magic container, but we will know soon.
He jinxed himself by keeping his life level low.
So Zarnax does find Guma. We'll see how his Guma fight goes here. Work on the double stabs. Gotta be careful, though. He hits hard. And look at the... Let's check out this... Oh, 2 fights. We got Barba going on for Rose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 hits. Nice 9-hit combo. Alright, P5 cleared for Zarnax, and P6 cleared for Rose City Saint here. There are really 2 methods for fighting Barba, and one of them is the jackhammer downstab strategy where you try and time a jump and downstab him to death. Or the other method is what you saw Rose doing, where you quickly time out each strike as you rise up and hit him and he goes down. You can get about 9 hits as you saw from Rose there, I counted them out. Okay, so we have not seen the Great Palace. It is... I'm sure it's in Death Valley, right? We've seen all the other dungeons. So yeah, leave Death Valley to last. How fitting of a game. Okay, so Rose is moving to Palace 3 right now. So it seems to mean that he hasn't cleared Palace 3 yet. But he's going to.
Yeah, it is very easy to confuse the blue bosses in the tracker. I have done so. So error picking the spell out of Darunia.
Oh, that's the upstep.
Sorry.
First. He needs the child to get the spell, but like with the rate of items that we're missing at this rate, he might just have the child. Who knows?
Someone got the child, I'm pretty sure, but I don't remember who did.
So if no one's found the child, where do you think the child is located?
No,
It could be... We haven't seen the hint yet for it,
no,
right? So maybe Error will ask for the hint.
you said it could be somewhere and someone picked it. I think it was Sarnax, the one that picked the... Oh yeah, Guma sits in the child.
Oh, wow. So Zarnax was the only one to find the child in P5 while he was being kind of led around the dungeon. That could be the spell he needs. The Thunder. No, Era didn't find the child or he would have gotten the spell right there. She said go to P5.
So, if you were Error, what would you do at this point?
Well, I'd be panicking the whole race right now, but if I know I need a spell item, I'd probably clear the last dungeons while we're making my way towards where I think where the last spell ends would be. He's in Palace 6 right now, I think. So, I don't know if we saw a hint, or he knows if there's a hint for a medicine here. I don't know where the medicine is located, as none of our players seem to have found it. So it might be in Palace 6. It could be in Death Mountain Hammer Cave.
No, medicine is in the east. So
it said medicine in the east, right?
Yeah, so it has to be in the magic container house.
Because if it's in the dungeon, they always say a dungeon, right? So just saying east doesn't mean inside the dungeon, right?
That is correct.
Okay. So then it has to be in the 6-jar magic house. Meanwhile, Rose City Saint will be picking up his item here in P3, and it will be the trophy which he can cast in for another spell. For the fire spell, he's hoping that's going to be Thunder. And we got a P6 pickup coming up here for Air. Now, I'm not sure which player saw the hint for go east to find the medicine, but that hint should reveal to the players that the Magic Jar Lady has the last spell item, I believe. Unless we've missed something.
I believe most of the players got it as soon as they picked up the downstop technique.
But they're going through all these like weird roundabout loops in the dungeons, like almost as if they forgot that hint.
Yeah, also most
but
of
we
them
do have 6
have
magic jars for Rose and Air now.
Yeah, the ones that have access to it are Rose, Error, and yeah, only those two. But what it seems strange to me is that Rose City Sang hasn't gone to New Kasuto, because he has had that magic container for a while.
Well, he still has Palace 5. I'm pretty sure he wants to find the Thunder Spell before looking for the item in Palace 5. You don't want to be looking for both the item and the boss. It can be a really long dungeon.
So Rose City Sang going into Darunia, he's gonna check for the hint about the spell item, and he's gonna get his Abstab. He cannot live with that.
So Thurwolf, because he didn't go all the way through Maze Island and see the dungeon there, he was checking Death Valley here to see if that was hopefully going to be Palace 3, but unfortunately it's the Great Palace. He'll be coming back. But his fairy feats are on point, as you can see here. If you get very right close to the edge of the screen, you can warp to the other side, just like the Zelda 1 screen wrap.
Meanwhile, Sarnax is giving Death Mountain a try. But I believe there shouldn't be anything we need, right?
We should know where everything is at this moment in time because we've seen all 4 of our racers, so the last spell item should be a new Pseudo with the Thunder spell.
Rose City Saint just got the hint that Guma sits on the child, which is a very naughty thing for Guma to do, but well, that's this game.
Has Zarnax cashed in his child yet?
No, I don't believe he has. Or at least I haven't seen him do so.
Next time he pops open his menu, I'll check to see his spells. But as you can see on Air screen, he's only missing 2 spells, the Darunia one and the Mido one. So it's either going to be the child or the medicine, which gets them the Thunder spell.
Yeah, but I guess Sarnax is missing something important. There's no way he is in that mountain blindly.
I'm just waiting until he pops open his menu.
Yeah.
But Rose will be picking up his medicine. Okay, unless we've seen something horribly wrong, this has to be the medicine for Rose. Aha!
And it is. Yeah, that took him a while. But well, he was beating palaces and everything, so I don't blame him for waiting till the last moment to do that.
Rose just has 1 dungeon left, P5. It is one of the longer dungeons, so it'll give other players time to catch up, but he's got everything. I think he's going to have everything he needs when he cashes this in, assuming it is the Thunder spell.
So yeah, if the Thunder spell is not here in Mido, he's going straight to Palace 5.
Now, I believe Zarnax said he had another race coming up, so he's going to be hoping to finish this one pretty quickly. Hopefully he gets through it before he misses his race. Meanwhile, Thurwolf finally making it over to Palace 3.
And it is Thunder in Mido.
Yeah. So at this point in the race, I think it's hard to tell who we're going to put ahead here, but it's either going to be, I think, Rose City Saint at this point.
Yeah, I think Rose City Saint has the lead at this point. Sarnax found Hammer Cave, so we're gonna see what kind of payback, jar, or 1-up he gets.
I think it's gonna be a magic container. Look, it's gotta be a magic container.
Well, that will be helpful for him. Maybe the thing that he was looking for, it was a magic container.
Honestly, the magic container is a good pickup for him because it'll give him access to the medicine, which will get him Thunder, and he'll know he's in all-go mode after that point.
So, error in Barba's chambers. While Sarnax picks up his magic container.
Error 72, showing the other method of fighting Barba there by bouncing off his head with the downstab. But like, Thurwolf is catching up. Except he still needs to get back. Oh no, he needs another magic container before he can get the Thunder spell. So he'd have to pick up the magic container from.
So Rose City Saint is going for Great Palace, I believe. So maybe he did beat Guma before and or maybe he doesn't know that
No.
here is Great Palace.
Maybe he did take him. Oh boy. Are you ready? Oh, I thought he was gonna jump into the barrier. I saw him pop open his menu. I saw that he still had the gem to place. So he must have forgot about P5.
Maybe
Unless
he didn't see it.
Yeah.
So we're going into New Kasuto. He's gonna pick up his child.
So if Error
Or
has
is it
indeed
medicine?
completed Palace 2, he's not too far behind then. Actually, he might be ahead.
Yep.
Because, like we said, Rose City Saint had to get through Palace 5, and Rose City Saint taking this detour up through Death Valley.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to ask Rosie saying what happened there. If he didn't find it, or if he... Oh no, I'm pretty sure he was there because it was in the Three-Eyed Rock, and he went in and he got out. So yeah, he maybe thought he was in GP mode, but he wasn't. So Error in middle, he's gonna pick up the child.
Does Error have the upstep? Did he pick that up in Darunia? That could be the only thing that would really slow him down at this point now that he's cleared. He's cleared Palace 6, and I think he's cleared Palace 2.
Yeah, I think he got it because he then went, after getting it, he went.
Well, he certainly cleared Palace 6, right? Yeah, he did.
Yeah, Error just jackhammered Barba.
Guma was kind of difficult to find, I think. It depends, I think, if they go up or down on one of the elevators, if they go all the way through a dungeon. But if they went the right way, they'll get to him pretty quickly. The right way. When does that ever happen? And also, depending on how trolly GP is, maybe Rose City Saint can catch up here, depending on how long it takes him to find Guma. But Error is making a beeline straight for it. Okay, so... So Zarnax is heading back into Palace 4 right now. He found the boss before, right? So is he looking for the item in here in hopes?
I don't know.
Maybe he didn't grab the hint about the medicine or the trophy, so he's hoping one of the 2 spell items is in here. But that's the thing, if you don't grab the hints, you're pretty much running blind and you're just hoping to find the items you need. Meanwhile, we've got a purple GP. That's purple, right? Yeah. Oh, take the drop. Just dang it right now!
I don't want to know anything about the on-drop. It almost cost me the race yesterday, so... Yeah, I hate that drop, but he's gonna take it.
Well, with the 2 drops like that, it won't matter, because I think it was a straight line right to where he was. So both drops should put, him in this section of the dungeon. Oh, okay, never mind then. So the other drop will put him ahead.
So yeah, GP can be the great equalizer at any circumstance.
Yeah, I can throw you for a loop back and forth. You may have to reset and everything. But I don't know if either of our players is going to reset through the dungeon unless it sets them to a really bad dead end somewhere. Rose City Saint, taking all the wrong paths in P5.
Yeah, yesterday a short GP almost killed a 12-minute lead, so anything can happen.
Really, that 6 magic container has really been holding up Thurwolf here, because he hasn't been able to cash in Nuka Pseudo. And we know the magic containers, one of them was in Hammer Cave, and I don't know where all the others were. I think one was in P6. Alright, we got a Guma fight for Rose here. Rose, show us how it's done. Yeah, like that. Pretty good. Air is clearing a chunk of this dungeon, though. I'm not sure if Rose City will have the chance or time to catch up here, but we will see. I've seen players get really confused in the Great Palace and lost, but we'll see. Air taking his 3rd drop now. Will this lead him to the bird? Leads him to the bird.
So yeah, now he has a huge lead.
There was a lot of the dungeon that he didn't check though, so like the next room could be Dark Link. It could be the final boss right after the bird. Like we saw a lot of paths after the first ball that he wasn't taken. So there's a lot of dungeon, and the Dark Link, the final boss, has to be behind the Thunderbird somewhere. You have to pass through the Thunderbird's room. Oh! Reflect saves Air's life there from the fireball. As you see, it went right through him. If you didn't know, the Reflex, though, shrinks your hitbox a little bit, blocks fireballs. I think that's the 2 things it does.
Yeah, meanwhile, Sarnax is gonna get disappointed by cashing his spell in Darunia.
Oh, there's a nice Highlander for us. Good job, Air. Now watch out for this room that's leading to the right with the lava. The fairy room is really easy to just walk right into the lava after going to the previous screen. It's hard to stop your momentum if you're not careful.
Yeah, I always take the jam and get hit at that room.
Alright, Rose City Saint making it into the Great Palace. Like, I can only hope the only way that Rose can catch up right now is if Zarnax takes a game over, but look at Zarnax's levels and everything. I don't think anything's gonna stop him.
So, Rose City Saint starts with the right foot, taking the right drop. And
but Air
finds...
72 finds the prize of the race, Dark Air, I believe, right?
That is correct. Let's say it's Dark Bagoo to
oh man.
add some drama.
Is it Air or is it Bagoo? They're twins. Yeah, he's found Air 72. GG to Air 72 with an SRL time of 1:14.08. let's see if Error wants to join us for some commentary now. He was having some audio issues, so I'm not sure if he can, but we will see.
Meanwhile, we're watching the ending scene that depicts the situation where you have a sugar daddy. So there you go. Enjoy. So Thirlwolf got the child. I believe he's gonna go to Darunia to get disappointed.
Can we switch the game audio over to, I guess, Rose City Saint? Then again, by the time we switch it over, you'll probably finish it at the same time. Okay, so Era says he's going to join us. I guess we gotta give the link here.
So Rose is saying finding Thunderbird. Thirlwolf is going to pick up his life spell in Darunia. That is not what he was looking for, and he's looking for a magic container now. So he doesn't have any idea where a magic container could be.
Nice Thunderbird fight for Rose. He is edging on his last little bit of health here. Oh, almost takes the Highlander himself. Wow, Thirlwolf is still sitting at 5 magic containers. Zarnax has 7 of them. But I think Thirlwolf is going to find his 6th magic container in this dungeon, so he will be picking up the medicine next.
So Rose City Sane entering Dark Link's chambers.
Let's see if he can take him out flawlessly here. He does have... Watch out, Darkling can jump on you at any time.
Meanwhile, Thirlwolf is in the right place, because in the item room of Palace 6 there is a magic container.
GG to Rose City Saint. With an SRO time of 1:18:31, congratulations. Not bad, pretty fast seed. Okay, Error, I'm gonna try and get him in here in a second. He is in the waiting room.
Mr. Error, can you hear us?
I can hear you.
So GG, man. Congratulations.
Yeah, GG.
Thank you.
Man, this seed looked pretty forgiving and like nice at the beginning of the run here. It was giving you a lot of nice items, and let's see here. You had the glove really early. You had a bunch of. You didn't get your spells until a bit later, but the seed was pretty generous for the most part, except for the last spell you needed.
Yeah, I'll talk about the glove for a second, because I went into Palace 1 without Fairy and without the magic key.
And you didn't have any extra keys at that point, did you? Like, all the other players had picked up, like, 2 or 3 extra keys from encounters.
I had one extra.
And you got a key in the other room.
And it was a small key from, the small group, and I thought I had actually looped the small drop group, because I got another, because I thought I started off with the 50p bag, and then I saw a 50p bag. It's like, oh, the next small drop's probably going to be a small key, so I'll just venture into Palace 1. Well, it wasn't. And then I used the key, and then I happened upon the item room and had no key, and it's just like, alright, I'll just go peek, I'll kill the last guy, and then I'll up-A because I won't have a key. And he dropped me a key.
Yeah, that was pretty fortunate. We saw that, and it was just like, wow, lucky.
I said that too.
Get it? Lucky.
Oh.
I won't.
Boo. Boo.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. So one of the big things, it's the same thing slowed down every single player in the seed, and it was finding that 6 magic jar. And that's really hold up all the players. They picked up pretty much all the other spell items, but the jars were hidden in tough locations, like one in Hammer Cave. I think Palace 6 had another, and I don't really remember who the other 2 were, but
So
you guys been running it all at 5 for the entire game, pretty much.
So one was pretty early in the it was in the west.
Yeah, I think your first item cave pickup was a magic jar too.
Yeah. And so once it came down to the point, it's like, oh, the only thing I have left is spell items. I just quit looking for hints. Which, maybe it'd been nice to have found a magic container hint after I found the hint. It's like, the medicine's in the east. Well, the only spot I haven't checked.
When we saw that hint and we saw all the other items by elimination, we knew it had to be the magic container lady's house. But it took you a while to catch a few things in. Like, you spent a long time before you got the downstab. You did a lot of exploring on the east before you went back to the west.
I'm feeling good about my combat and stuff in Zelda 2. I'm a reasonably good vanilla Zelda 2 player, so I can go long stretches without downstab.
Yeah, we saw your Regal fight without the downstab. You took it nice and slow, and you took him out without dying.
Yeah, it was a flawless victory.
On his last hit.
But I expected to die to Revo, because if I remember right, I didn't have any health when I was fighting him.
No, you were on your last little block of health there or something. Not even shield would have saved you, but you took your time and worked out.
Yep. But as you said, I was hoping I wouldn't have to go back into Palace 5 for the child.
Palace 5 was a long dungeon. A lot of players spent a lot of time in there. I think Rose City Saint, he was in there, like, you were both going into, like, your last dungeons, and he was in Palace 5 for just until, up until you were right before Thunderbird, before he found Guma, and then he was trying to catch back up, but it was too late at that point.
Yeah, my Palace 5 was super fast. I went the correct route.
Yeah, that's what you were saying. It was whether you went, like, up or down from the elevator, and then, like, if you went the wrong way, you'd go run through the entire dungeon, going each and every little direction.
Right.
So we have here with us Rose City Saint, GG, mister.
Hey, thanks, Victor, and good job, Eric.
Thank you.
Yeah, GG, Rose City Saint. It was a pretty good game and close game up until a bit into the end there, but this was it was hard to tell who was ahead between Thurwolf, Rose City, and Air. Now, Zarnax's game crashed about 5 to 10 minutes into it. He was in Palace 2, and I think he grinded up to like 5-2-4 or something very beginning of the seed, and then his game crashed. So he had to reset his game. Yeah. So he's been running a little bit behind the whole time because of that dungeon. I think he's been trying to make some rough decisions here on how to catch back up, but hasn't really worked out too well. Meanwhile, we do have Thurwolf in the Great Palace, slowly making his way.
Yeah, they Thirlwolf and Sarnax got the kid and checked for Darunia to have Thunder, and they got disappointed. So yeah, that played against them. Thirlwolf had a hard time finding the sixth container, so yeah, that also hit hard.
But this seed, it was pretty fast. Like, we're playing on the Swiss round 1 flags right now, and if you looked at the average times for like the Swiss round 1, like they've been going like an hour and a half plus for almost all the racers, depending on where the items were located. You guys completed under an hour and 30, so good job.
Thanks. Yeah, I thought this seed was relatively free. I mean, Thunder was the big holdup, but
Beginning of the seed, like, you thought you were going to get everything. Like, it was giving you, like, Reflect, the Master Key, and a bunch of other things.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
really...
in fact, I can say that before 30 minutes, I had every actual item, so that put me at ease. That sort of gives you a lot of freedom when you have every item in the item tray. And I felt like I was in pretty good command of this whole seed right up until sort of the end. I made kind of an embarrassing mistake. I dove into Death Valley before doing 5.
We saw that. I think you diving into Death Valley there, like, before you dived in there, like, when you got to the dungeon, we thought you were going to jump into the Great Palace Barrier. We saw you on your menu, and we were hoping you would. I'm sorry, Rose. But, yeah, if you didn't go into Death Valley there, you would have saved maybe about 2 or so minutes and got a lot closer to Error.
Yeah, and let me tell you, one thing leads to another, because following that mistake that cost me a minute to a minute and a half, I then go into Palace 5. I'm presented with 2 options to go right, and trying to be a wise guy, I take the one that's further up the elevator rather than I would normally have explored the lower one. And I wasted a couple of minutes exploring that upper path. You know, even though it was a perfectly valid thing to explore, it's still not what I normally would have done.
It wasn't a couple minutes. It was like 5 or so minutes. Like, you spent a long time in Palace 5. Like, if you, like, I think, Error
right?
you were in there for... Maybe it was. I think it was, though. But I remember Error, he took the right way immediately upon going into Palace 5. Really quick Guma find.
So, yeah, anyhow, yeah, I don't know exactly how long that Palace 5 wasted for me. If I had just gone on that first right, it basically led straight to Guma. So between those 2 mistakes, I probably could have saved the time needed to win. But, that's how it goes when you're playing this top flight competition like Thirlwolf and Error. You have to make every last play to win.
Yeah, we knew exactly which 4 players to throw on here. But, another thing about this seed that I thought was pretty generous was in Maze Island. It was a long, linear kind of like path to the dungeon, but the boots were like right there before you got to it, so you were able to kind of like just cozily walk out. It was nice.
Yeah, I actually debated not doing Maze Island at first when I first came across it, because I'm telling myself, there's only one useful thing I could hope to find here, and that's boots. What are the odds? And lo and behold, it was the boots. So I was really kind of stoked when I got the boots and, was able to take a little shortcut to the palace. That's when I really felt like I had a shot to win. And everything went fine. Even I spent the extra time digging the trophy out of 3, which we found out was unnecessary. But that was still a decent play at that time. Just came down.
Yeah, you didn't want to go back there. You had to clear while you were there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Thirlwolf, however, he got to the very first, I think, item drop, which was on the way, then he turned back before heading into Maze Island, so he did the same thing. He didn't know what dungeon was in Maze Island. He ran up to Death Valley as well, saw the GP, and he realized he had to go all the way back, and he never picked up his boots. That was the last item he grabbed in the seat, I think.
Oh, that's... I can see that being costly. I really don't think the boots were required, but they were really helpful in a couple spots.
Well, they were pretty nice, yeah.
All I know is I found a hint at some point that said, hey, pick up the 500 bag in the east.
From the box, and yeah, I don't know which one that was, whether it was the water tile, the desert tile,
And at some point, I picked up the new Kusuto spell item, which was actually like a 100-point P bag, so I think that was the replacement for the candle. I don't remember, but there was a 100-point P bag there, but then there was the second item cave I found, which had a 500-point P bag. The water tile, which had a 500 point.
Yeah, the East was all
And-
500
and-
point P bags for the most part.
And
Except-
the desert tile was a 500 point P bag,
Yeah.
all basically in the same area.
I ran into the same exact thing where I was looking for that last town, which happened to be just south of the river. And yeah, I ran into the same thing, just P bag after P bag. And if I had skipped that entire segment of Overworld, you know, what could have been, you know, for all of us, you know, that was, I mean, Nukasudo was up there and you needed that, but like, boy, that segment of Overworld was garbage.
It was just like everyone else. Basically visited Nukasudo twice.
Yeah, definitely. I only had 5 containers when I first arrived.
And Sargnas got his 6th container out of Hammer Cave in Dead Mountain.
Zarnax actually has every magic container.
Yeah, I debated early in the game. I debated digging out Palace 2 or Palace 4 in hopes of a container. I mean, I'm glad I didn't because Palace 6 gives you one really pretty freely.
So fire was linked to spell, is that correct?
That's right.
Correct.
Alright. So he just picked up his second spell, but unfortunately it wasn't the thunder. He will have to go back to Nukasudo to cash in those jars for the medicine. Meanwhile, GG to Thurwolf. With an SRO time of 1:30:53. Congratulations. Too bad. But good game, you two, Rose City. I think Thurwolf was coming in here if you want to say GG to him. I'm not sure what else to mention about the seed, but let's see what Thurwolf says.
I assured him that beating me tonight would make him feel better, so, you know, I owe him an apology.
Yeah, there's a rivalry there.
Yeah, absolutely. If, you know, I didn't win the race, you know, Error won, and that's good for him, but hey, I finished ahead of Thurwolf, so that makes me pretty happy. He's a darn good player, so that's
honestly, I was placing Thurwolf like almost ahead in this seed for the most part until he walked out of Maze Island, and then I knew he was going to cost him so much time to catch back up there. But like it was hard to tell who was ahead and at this point of the race until things got much later, and tracking 4 players was kind of weird. You guys had all incorrect bosses pretty much labeled on your trackers and items, and we were trying to figure it all out.
It doesn't help your tracker that I don't use a tracker.
Yeah, I also don't use a tracker.
Yeah, we have kind of like the commentary tracker on here for the things, but we were trying to like almost guess which bosses you were clearing because it was hard to focus on all 4 of you at once, and so I think we got like half the bosses mixed up between you players. But it all worked out in the end. We figured it all out by the time we got to Great Palace, right?
Yeah, that is correct. So we have Thurwolf amongst us, so GG, man.
Yo, those magic jars, huh? They had to be in the places I decided to skip.
The magic jars were the one thing that pretty much held everybody up in the race, but I think hurt you the most for the magic jars, like finding that 6th one took so long, and the Maze Island walkout Thurwolf earlier. I put that put you a bit behind too. When you first walked in, instead of continuing on getting the boots.
Yeah, that hurt.
Otherwise, it was. I was gonna say, yeah. Otherwise, it was hard to tell who was ahead in the siege. You guys were all pretty close together, and like I said, Zarnax, his game crashed, so he was like set 5 to 10 minutes behind. He had to reset.
That's rough.
But anything you want to say about this seed right now? But for the most part, it felt like a free seed, I guess. It looked like it was gonna be a free seed from the beginning.
I wish I was more comfortable fighting Rebanek without downstab. That's what I'll say.
You didn't take a game over to him, right? You just...
I just backed out of the item room in 6, which had a magic jar, which would have been really nice.
Oh, that's
yeah. Oh.
So yeah, that would have gotten me the medicine the first time I went up into Nukasudo, and then when I went back to the west, that would have gotten me Thunder, and that would have been pretty good. Because I had no problems placing gems. No, that went pretty well.
Let's talk about Palace 5 there. Players deciding whether they should dive back in for the, what was it,
The child.
the child in Palace 5. And if you went the wrong way, you'd have a fun little detour all the way around the dungeon. I'm not sure exactly how quickly your Palace 5 went, but Rose City Saint took the super long way, while Error kind of ran right to Guma.
My Guma was really quick, but then I went back for the kid, which, well, gave me the life spell.
Yeah, it wasn't the one you needed, but you couldn't have really known at that point. Like, it was hard to tell which spelling you needed. So, did you get the hint for the medicine in the east?
I did pretty late, but then I cleared all the east, and I was left with Magic Jar Lady.
You knew it must have been the 6 Jar Lady.
And that's why I went back into 5. I'm like, I know where 5 is. I have to find a jar. There's still a heart container out there somewhere. If I go into a dungeon and it's a heart, then I have to go into another dungeon looking for a jar, and yeah.
So, I have a big schedule of speed gaming games coming up here. Let me just slowly look through this and find out what's coming up next.
Well, GG's, guys. I'm going to head out. Good night.
All right, good night. Okay, from 11 p.m. to 12:30, so that's coming up in 8 minutes. We have a Zelda 1 randomizer, I believe, free-for-all race. I think that's going to be on, I'm not sure, SG1? And I think we have a Celeste race starting from 11 till 12:30 also coming up. So we've got 2 races coming up on Speed Gaming next. Zelda 1 randomizer and Celeste. It probably won't be on this stream, so you may have to switch over.
So Sarnak's going into middle to get his Thunder spell at last. And he's gonna head to Great Palace as soon as he gets it.
So I want to check where the other few runners are. We got Ryan and Seven and Bill, and we've been kind of running behind the scenes silently. And oh boy, Ryan is fighting Dark Link right now. We can't really pull him up on the screen here, but we will say GG to him. With a time of 1:37.40, 4th place, GG to Ryan 7.
Yeah, GG to Ryan. That's a very good time for him.
Meanwhile, Billiam is running through Palace 6 right now. He's working his way through the game. He still has a few things to do, but Zarnax is making his way right to Great Palace.
Yeah, I thought Palace 6 was a little bit challenging in this seed, too, to be honest. You needed to take one particular drop to get to Barba, and that drop was sort of not the thing you would normally do the first time through. It was... The room just begged for you to roll right instead of continuing to drop down, and so I don't know.
Everybody took the deep. Nobody got through Palace 6 quickly. I feel. I think everybody kind of spent a bit of time in there.
That makes me feel better to hear, because that really, I was like one room away from going complete white knuckle panic.
Complete white knuckle panic.
Yeah, that happens sometimes. That's an actual medical condition.
Yeah. Only in Palace 6 where the sprite changes, right? The color changes.
Oh yeah, Palace 6, it can be a cruel mistress sometimes. I thought this version of it was pretty bad.
Yeah, it was almost like a full clear Palace 6. I'm not sure if you saw all the dead end rooms or not, but
I feel like I did, barring maybe one left that you would take on the way to Barba, but yeah.
We see Zarnax is in the Great Palace now. But you have anything else to say about the Seed Rose? Anything else you want to mention? We should follow our runners, Rose City Saint, Error 72. We should grab some links for these guys if you follow them. Thurwolf, good players. They're all in a tournament.
Yeah, if I can plug myself for a second, I play my race this Saturday night against Buzz Thunder, so stay tuned for that one.
That's going to be a good close race. Buzz Thunder's not bad at the game. He's pretty decent.
Oh, no, he is a real gamer. He is a clutch player, and I don't know if he'd mind me sharing this or not, but he told me privately how badly he's going to hose me, so we'll see. I think I think we can give him credit that
you will be one screen away from Dark Link, and a Buzz will fall from the ceiling and will end you.
Yeah, that's just
hey,
fine.
Look at that palette on Zarnax, the weird ceiling palette. You saw that?
Yeah, that happens sometimes, but very rarely.
He also, just for fun, he challenged me to a no downstab match, which I refused to do.
You can do a no downstab match.
Yeah, I mean, we could. That's a thing, but I don't know. Like Colleen, I'm often a stick in the mud when it comes to new ideas. I'm Mr. Traditional. You understand? I like Coke Classic. I like.
You mean like playing the vanilla Zelda 2 traditional style?
Yeah, I when it comes to
all right. You mean like all the fancy randomizer special?
Yeah, right. When it comes to randomizer, when it comes to my randomizer play, I just try to keep everything sort of whatever on the straight and narrow. Challenge, I don't mind, but I don't like it when things get so zany. It changes the approach to everything.
A few things. Like, I play through half the... Sometimes when I pick up downstab, I forget I even pick it up, and I just play through the rest of half the game with just not even using it, but, like, it's nice.
Yeah, I'm a lot more comfortable without downstab now than I used to be.
Yeah, with jumping over enemies and a few things like that. I think it was in Palace 1, you took, like, the first left or something, and you saw, like, the Iron Knuckle and turn back, and just...
Yeah, that was the wrong play at the time. It wound up to be more of a full clear of one, but I didn't know that at the time. I every other decision I made in there was whatever, they were all valid decisions. Just that first room, I just didn't feel like hopping over him without downstab at a low level. And actually, one of the other factors was using the key too. That room was confirmed to require a key. And at that time, they were limited. No fairy, no magic key.
Didn't you pick up any drop keys? Like, you only need 2 keys to get through Palace 1, because you're definitely going to... Or even 1 key, really, just to get through Palace 1, because you're guaranteed to pretty much pick up a bunch of keys on the way.
I did, right. I had 2 keys when I entered, but I just figured I'll save that Iron Knuckle room and not burn my key, and just sort of... I'll go back there after. That will be quick to do, following an up and A, if need be.
So something interesting here, Zarnax completed 4 or 5, I think was it 4 or 5 dungeons without fairy. I mean, without the master key. Like, he was ferrying through all the doors.
Wow.
I think he found the key later in the race, but like, he was doing the old fairy throws.
Well, if he had extra magic containers and fairy wasn't that expensive, I had it at about 35 when I first got it, so at least it wasn't cost prohibitive. He probably was able to cast it 3 times per full bar.
Oh, he didn't get those magic containers until way later. Like, he picked up 3 all at once. Like, all the races were running at 5 magic containers the entire game. Like, you pretty much picked up your 6 magic containers pretty close to each other, but Error checked back to New Kasuto a bit ahead of you. I think you guys stalled a bit before going back there, some of you.
Gotcha.
Either way.
So he was going through the doors, then maybe casting fairy twice per bar, if he was lucky.
Yeah, maybe.
Sometimes that's not a problem. Sometimes it's all the difference in the world. It's just one of those things.
And Zarnax is almost about to finish it. Was it up or down from the fairy room?
Down.
Okay, so he's on the right route here. I think you went up first, right?
I took a peek up, but I never traveled. I only explored down.
I just saw you coming down the elevator. I didn't know if you went up or not, but I guess it leads to a left room.
That's right. Yeah, it leads to a large open statue drop room.
Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah.
Anyways, so you have your match with Buzz Thunder coming up. What did you say, Saturday?
Yeah. Saturday at 9:30 Eastern.
Alright, good luck on your game. Hopefully you don't get too buzzed.
Thank you. Yeah, this time I assured him I'm not going to waste time looking for Mito. If Mito doesn't present itself, we're going to give it a go anyhow. Last time I had a one-on-one with him, I wasted over 10 minutes trying to get that down stab, and he only beat me by 3 minutes.
Yeah. Do we have any other runners matches for the tournament coming up, like soon? We know we have Rose City Saint and Buzz Thunder.
I know that Trails and Error play against each other tomorrow night. I'm not exactly sure what time. Probably 9 or 10 Eastern.
That's going to be a great match.
Oh, yeah. Stay tuned. I mean, Error is amazing. You saw that tonight. And Trails plays 2-3 times a day and gets a little better every time he plays. So,
yeah, and
definitely you want to see that.
I love Trails' approach in Great Palace, and Great Palace has been very, 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 very definitive in these races in the tournament. So, yeah, anything can happen. So, yeah, that will be a good match.
Yeah, Trails is not afraid to make the quirky play in GP. In fact, he invites it.
Well, also with you on the Saturday, we have John Bloody Thumbs and Dr. J PhD going head-to-head. You guys are pretty much playing your games at the same time, so we'll have all four of you probably playing again. But otherwise, I think that's pretty much it. GG.
Yeah, GG.
GG to Zarnex. Got caught away in the conversation. Yeah. With an SRL time of 1:45:28.
Yeah, thank you both guys, Victor and Kulain. Appreciate it, and congratulations on your tournament wins. Very nice.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rose City Saint. And congratulations on beating Thirlwolf today.
Oh, yeah, thank you. That's a personal victory. Error can have his moment, but as far as I'm concerned, I win.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, I love competing against these guys, win or lose. Thirlwolf kicks my teeth in all the time, constantly. So yeah, it's okay for me to have a little moment in the sun.
So GG, Mr. Sarnax.
Hello.
Hello, Zarnex. How are you tonight, GG? And unfortunately, that game... there are a bunch of things to talk about in this seed. The most, thing that interests us the most was you jumping right into Palace 2 to go for those early levels, and you were leveling up pretty quickly, but... with the crash, what happened with that crash there? Is it something to do with your cartridge, your emulator? Like, we saw your screen warp, and I thought you saved your game, but unfortunately you didn't.
Yeah, my NES just has a really bad pin connector. Or I don't even know if it's the connector itself, but the way that it's connected to my console. But yeah, I've had issues with that for a long time. Generally, the last several months, it's been pretty reliable, but every once in a while that happens. It's something I've kind of gotten used to and learned to live with.
Yeah, just you got some nice levels in there, which helped you on your second time going back in, unfortunately.
The first time I got to attack 5, and had I the second time, it just didn't. The second time was really, really not well thought out at that point. Yeah. So, because that's only worth doing if you're gonna go all in onto attack, I think.
Honestly, they help pull you back into the race. I think even though you had that one reset, those levels really helped catch you back up a little bit. It was more of your later game decisions, I think, which really slowed you back down. Because there was a point where you were making a pretty decent comeback in the race.
Huh. Yeah, I felt I felt that if I had gone with, if my game hadn't crashed, I would have probably stuck with Magic 2 and 3 until I was probably attack 7 or 8,
We were saying, like, is he gonna level up to 666 so we can just cash in his 6 gems and hit max level? Like, we were wondering how long it would take you to get to 666, and we're thinking like 10, 15 minutes, or maybe about 15 minutes at the rate you were going, or something, maybe less.
Yeah. No. So yeah, my plan was to go to attack 5, and then first 3 gems would get me to attack 8, and then my next 3 gems could be put back into life and magic levels. But once my game crashed, then I like the first time it went so quickly that I was like, okay, this is worth doing again. But then I got to attack 4 and realized like that I didn't want to go all the way to 5 again, and then I was like, now it's kind of a sunk cost because getting to attack 4
doesn't. Grabbing the hints were you in towns because you were behind, or were you still? I don't remember if you grabbed any of the hints.
Okay, so I think I got 1 hint. I mean, my general MO is not to dive for hints.
So some of the hints that were in the game were, like, it said the locations of all the spell items from the hints, so we knew that the medicine was going to be in 3, the trophy was going to be in 5, the child was going to be in 5. I mean, the medicine was going to be in Nukasudo, the trophy was going to be in Palace 3, and the child was going to be in 5, so I was trying to figure out which one of those 3. But the one thing that was slowing down all the players in the race was finding that 6 magic jar to cash in for the medicine. You, however, just found all 8 of them. Congratulations on maxing out there.
Yeah, after that second grind at the 2 drippers, I really felt I was way behind, and so that's why I was basically doing the really quick, easy, obvious stuff, and then
you didn't reset your lives, and then you went to go fight the Palace 2 boss? I think you got to the Palace 2 helmet head and die. I think that was you? Right after the grinding or whatever? I thought you lost like a life or 2 getting there, then you took a game over.
That did happen. So my plan, right after that initial grind, though, was I knew I was going to look for the item in 5 and then go to Death Mountain, because I felt that one of those things had to be important for me to have a chance to catch back up.
I knew you were taking like some risky moves and stuff to catch back up, but like it was the hints, some of the other hints were to giving the other players like better locations. Like I said, for the first half of the game, Nick, you were making a catch up after the crash, but c'est la vie, I guess. But otherwise, Zarnex, didn't you have like another race coming up?
Yeah, I'm about to go do that right now. Before this one started, I got in touch with the guy I'm racing against.
Okay, because we were wondering if you were going to be behind or if you're going to miss that, but that's good if you can catch on to that race. We were worried that you would have had to back out, but you stuck with it to the end of the seed, even with that bad crash at the beginning, so thanks for that.
Yeah, it's just a one-on-one. I got a hold of him before this one started. We're good. Thanks. But I should run and go do that. Appreciate the commentary, restream, and all that. Have a good one.
Alright, no problem. I think that pretty much wraps it up, except we do have one other player running. I'll link his channel just so you can watch him finish off the race, but I think we're going to switch our host over to a different channel. I'm not sure exactly what we're doing here, but I think we're going to set up.
Okay, so I want to give a shout out to Speed Gaming and all the people that help us bring you this Zelda 2 randomizer. I want to thank our tracker, who is Mr. Jacqueline Fox, who has been restreaming some of the tournament races, so you should follow that channel. And well, I want to thank Cyclone, who is our restreamer. And yeah, thank you for watching. This was a pretty interesting race, pretty free at the beginning, but with the usual twist that the Zelda 2 randomizer brings to us.
So, on Speed Gaming 1, we have 8 Genos versus Buzz Thunder race coming up right now on twitch.tv/speedgaming. So maybe we can get a host over to there on that. That looks like it's going to be an exciting match between these 2 players.